Yo, yo, yo. Are we live? F it. We're doing it live. F it. We're doing it live. I'm not waiting a full minute, man. I got a show to do with my brother Chase, and I'm not going to waste too much time on this because it's a shame that I even have to do this. I don't do this with great comfort because it makes it seem like that I'm the bigger, better person speaking down to the rest of the community. But what I have been fortunate and blessed with is an opportunity to have had to deal in the crumb side and see a lot of this at its apex and probably run back to the village here in the Stadia community and pre-warn y'all about this before y'all run too far with this. Okay. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about the demagoguing of the community. What's up, Jim? What's up, Wolock? Cold Blood? Yo, what's going on? We got Zach. What's up, Zach? Jen Stadia. Clive. He said, you are the bigger, better person. Own it. Okay, so let me get right to this because we're going to have a great discussion and hopefully we don't even have to touch on this with my brother Chase. There was this sentiment in the Stadia community that because we are close-knit, that everybody has to sit down in their dunce seat and listen to everything that has to be said by everybody. You got to sit there, you got to take it, and you got to listen to everything that everybody has to say. And this has been a growing sentiment in the community as people have challenged other people, and sometimes the challenge to the other people have gone way too far out of the stratosphere. But sometimes the challenge has been simply, look, man, I don't see this as an issue. I don't see this as a thing. If you see it as one, fine, that's you. But to me, it ain't no big deal. You know what I'm saying? And then you have the sloth of the community going back and be like, look, because you're not fully entertaining my motif, you're being toxic or you're being mean and all other stuff. No, let's talk about some things here because this is what's grinding my gears. Let's talk about some things. Neither I nor anybody on YouTube do you have to listen to. Just because you picked up a Stadia controller, you press the power button on your Stadia controller and you're playing Stadia games, does that mean that everybody with an opinion on Stadia you have to listen to, whether that's a content creator or not? We are not, you do not sign a contract with us that you got to listen to our rhetoric, me included. And I've had people that are staples within this community. Yes. And I'm not going to name names that are staples within this community who have blocked me and who have muted me. And that is their God-given right because all they did was buy a Stadia controller from Google, not from MM2K and my wife's credit card. They bought it from Google and they go to Twitter looking for whatever they're looking for. And that's totally fine and that's okay. And I don't care. That is your God-given right. Just like when I started this journey 2 years ago, creating Xbox content, then creating general game content, then creating Scram Parks and all this other stuff. You can like me if you want, or you can like me if you don't. I don't care. Like I've told you guys a billion times, I could have been years ago at 1,000 subscribers on at least on my primary channel because I know what it takes, but that's not why I'm here. I am here to have discussions with people the way that I'm willing to have discussions for those that want to have those discussions. If you don't want to have those discussions, block me, mute me, refute me, whatever. But what I don't like is this growing notion that, hey, you don't want to entertain my conversation, so you're toxic. Now, it's one thing if, say, I'm having a conversation with B person and and I'm like, look, you should shut up. That's toxic. Why is that toxic? Because regardless, if I want to be in my silo, or maybe I'm right, maybe you're just blurting a whole bunch of silly, stupid-ish, whatever the case may be. That doesn't give me carte blanche right to decide what's out there on social media. You should be able to say whatever you want to whoever's willing to listen to it. That's the thing, to whoever's willing to listen to it. All right. if you feel that way, there might be a million other people that feel that way, and only 5 people that might feel my way. Social media isn't synonymous with being right. It's about people expressing their opinions and some facts, some of it not fact, whatever the case may be. It's a jambalaya of characters. Okay, you may decide to you may say, hey, look, okay, so all right, I don't want to hear from MM2K. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear that stuff. I didn't come to Twitter for that. And you may decide to mute me. That's fine. Now, if you tell me to shut up, that's not cool because, again, you don't have carte blanche right. But on the opposite side of the fence, there might be a million other people. 95% of the community may feel the way that I feel, or they may feel the way that you feel. That's why it's never good to shut any side up. That is what I was fighting against. I was fighting against people being told to shut up. But just like people are being told to shut up, and I don't like that, I also don't like this notion that I got to engage with you in whatever path you want to take this discussion on. And I don't like the fact that when people don't want to take that path on that discussion, there's a certain group within the Stadia community, because we got to be honest and we got to be, self-aware. The community is kind of splintered right now, again, with those that are a little bit more rosier and those that are a little bit more pessimistic. And that's fine. That's every community that's on social media, because people are giving their opinions. But a trend that I don't like, and I addressed the trend from the rosier people saying the pessimistic people shut up. Now I'm addressing the trend from the pessimistic people to the rosy people, because you don't want to sit and listen to me, you're toxic. That is the most self-fulfilling bunch of babble that I've ever heard in my life, and it needs to go away. Again, because I bought a Stadia controller, it doesn't mean that you have signed a contract to the Stadia Dosage channel, to MM2K, to Broadband Bullies, PNT. No. You can go to social media and listen to and V-chip pretty much anything you want. Okay? But if I'm sitting there and I decide to, if someone decides to block me, which again, we've had staples of the Stadia community block me. And this is the first time you're hearing of it. Or the first time that I'm bringing it up. I don't care. Why? Because it's your God-given right to do whatever you want to do on social media. Now, if you tell me to shut up, that's a problem. That's a problem. Not only is it a problem because you don't have control of me shutting up, but again, what you're trying to do is you're trying to create an atmosphere where only one side gets heard, and then that side that gets heard might be the minority side. And that isn't good for the community. That isn't good for Google. But what also equally is not good is the demagoguing and the outcasting of people that just don't want to hear what you got to say. That's too self-fulfilling. Who cares? If you don't want to hear what I got to say, you have every right to mute me. You got every right to block me. And if I end up being in a silo because of it, that is of my own wrongdoing. And I got to deal with that. But that's still, but just because I mute you personally or I block you personally, that doesn't stop you from being able to broadcast your ideas and your motifs to the world that want to listen to it. I can't force people to be educated. I can't force people to be educated. But what I don't like, and this is what I'm telling you that's being created, because I got an ish load, and I'm trying to hold my rhetoric here and my language. I got an ish load of people that came to me behind the scenes today and said, MM2K, are you seeing these tweets that are out here? Some of these tweets are crazy. The doom and gloom and this, that, and the other. And I've been telling them for the past several months, look, y'all, just be calm, just relax. If you don't want to exercise in the Discord, just mute the entity. Don't get engaged, whatever the case may be. But don't go out there and pull out your pitchfork and battle anybody. Meanwhile, pitchforks are being drawn at them because they don't want to listen to it. That's not fair. That is not fair. Again, because you bought a Stadia controller, because you bought an Xbox controller, because you bought whatever the case may be, that does not give you carte blanche right or give me carte blanche right to have your eardrum. I don't need you to listen to me to validate my words. I have sources. I've been connected for the past 2 years, thankfully, because of broadband bullies and other sources. I got people connected here, there, whatever. I don't need you to validate my words. The reason why I'm here is because I feel like that the words that I am speaking, they might connect to some people. For those that it don't connect to, you have every right not to connect to me, to avoid me. And if I care that much to connect to you, then it is me that has to fine tune my message to get to you, not the other way around. And if I feel like fine tuning my message is watering it down enough, then comes the integrity question. How much integrity do I have? Am I going to water down my message so more people can listen to it? Or am I going to keep my message concentrated and strong, and then whoever comes just comes? I choose to do the latter. But under no circumstances do I go out here and tell people you need to listen. You need to let me do it like this. Let me try it like this. Big ups to the homie Chase, and I see Chase in the chat. We're gonna go live in a little bit. I ain't gonna take up too much time. A good friend of Chase's and a great content creator is Donnie from PSVG. I know I keep saying this live on air, Donnie, but I ain't forget about you. I'm just hellified, unorganized. But I was working to sit with Donnie. I wanted to get Chase involved too, but Chase's schedule got crazy and we couldn't make things happen. But I wanted to sit and just solely pick Donnie's brain on why he left the platform. What we were going to do is to kind of minimize on the quote unquote real toxicity. Shut up, Donnie. You should love Stadia and all. The real toxicity, we were going to record it, and then I was going to upload it later so he would have no distractions and he would feel comfortable in saying what he wanted to say. And I wasn't going to rebut him. I was just going to let him on your march cassette go, because I would love for this data to be live just for you to listen to, but not just for that, but for Google to listen to as well, right? But Donnie feels the way that he feels about the platform, and he's given his reasons why, and he's done so elegantly with Chase. So Donnie feels the way that he feels. What if I were to go to every time Donnie posted something about Stadia? If I said to Donnie, well, Donnie, you play Plus is coming. You should be more faithful. Have faith. Hey, Donnie, Strange Brigade is fantastic. Hey, Donnie, Division 2 is super fantastic. What the hell is wrong with you? Do you need to take some medication? If I was sitting there going at him time after time, at some point in time, Donnie's going to say, you know what? I'm tired of this dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even feel like engaging it. I just wanted to express my thoughts, and I don't even want to get into it with him. This wasn't, I didn't make this post for debate. I just put this post out here to express my thoughts. This dude is driving me crazy, and he mutes me. Then Donnie got the right to mute me. It's his social media account. He can do what the hell he wants. I can't be mad at him. So I know this is new for a lot of us in the community. I get this. And I get we're at the forefront of something new. But here's where I'm traveling back to the village with my experience. You got a decision to make. You can't have both. Both can't occupy the same space at the same time. You got to make a decision on, am I going to stick to my word and my content, regardless of who thinks what, who blocks or mutes what? Or do I want everybody, do I want my message to be accepted broadly? And if what you want is the latter, where you want your message accepted broadly, you got to cater the message to the audience. The audience is not going to cater their feelings to you. Period. That's not how it works, buckos. That's not how it works, community. I'm telling you, trust me, from the school of MM2K, that's not how it works. If you want your message to be accepted broadly, you got to water down your message pretty much. That's just the way that it is. But if you don't want to water down your message and you want to stay true to your guns, then you can't worry about who accepts it and who isn't. If you have full faith in your message, all you can ask for is that the people that are listening to you stay on board, they stay on the boat, and they ride down the stream of prosperity. And when everything's said and done, y'all look back at the people that were silent and you say, look, tried to tell you. I've already been there. How? Since 2017, I've been talking about what Microsoft needed to do, what they weren't doing, how they had to capture the hardcore. And I had Xbox people telling me, no, they don't. Us hunting roaches in the forest, grounded, that's beautiful. We're expanding our horizons. That's all we need. And look at what happened today. Is they acquired Bethesda, and all that talk about the kiddie games being okay, that went out the door. Now everybody's back on the hardcore kick. Like I've been telling them since 2017. Now I can look back at people and say, you know what? I told y'all in the Xbox DNA, it's all about hardcore. Once they stick to the hardcore, then they got this in the bag. And can nobody come to me and say, MM2K, see, you said Xbox would never be good. Never said that. I've always said Xbox needs to go back to its roots, and acquiring Bethesda helps do exactly that. Look at the reception that they got. That's me not watering down my message and staying on that stream and just following it, clearing through, and then looking back when the dust settled and say, see, I told y'all, isn't this a great feeling? Stadia community, that's all you can ask for. Whether you're a YouTuber, someone that's just on Twitter, you create articles and content, influencer, whatever the case may be. Stop with the demagoguing. If nobody wants to hear what you're selling, fine. As the adage or the saying goes, if you ain't got no haters, then you must be doing something wrong. That's the way I look at it. It's called delayed gratification. If what you're saying has been tested against time, if it makes sense and is rooted in facts, when you go down to the end of that stream and you turn and look back, you'll have the rewards of delayed gratification. It took me 3 years to see mine. But along that way, I didn't whine and complain and demagogue anybody and say, you're toxic. I hate that word. It's overused and it needs to stop. And I've seen it used in the Xbox community and the PlayStation community too much. And now it's starting to get its ugly roots here. And it needs to stop. If nobody wants to hear what you're selling, who cares? If you know what you're selling is right, continue to sell it. But don't get mad at the people that don't want to buy it. You got to make a decision. Is your job to sell something to people, or is your job to inform? If your job is the latter, then everybody's not going to agree to it at first, because you know what? People in general, even on social media, are sheep. I hate to say it, they're sheep. They got to follow something. They got to follow somebody. But demagoguing those that say, you know what, I just don't want to buy that. I don't even want to deal with it. Just like in the scenario where I gave, where Donnie from people just said, look, man, I'm just putting my thoughts out here. I don't even want to engage with you. I don't even want to engage with you, MM2K. You're too loud. You annoy me. Leave me alone. Mute. It's God-given right. And there's nothing else for me to say. But again, if I know that I got the truth in my pocket, I don't need him to unmute me. And that's what I'm saying. You guys are looking too much for validation of something. If you're going to speak in absolutes, you don't need that validation. You should have done your due diligence and your research, right? And you do have followers that believe what you may say, right? Then that's good enough. Trust me, it's good enough. All right. That's it. That's all I got to say about the matter. Let me go back and respond to the chat, because I know y'all sitting there bubbling. Mm. Stadia Universe, what's going on, my good friend? Happy Cloud Gamer says, Pete Hines says Bethesda will still publish its own games. Yeah, what this is in more ways than one, and I'm glad you brought that up, Happy Cloud Gamer, because I almost forgot about that part because I did want to talk about that. I'll talk about that more with Chase, though. But, oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, this is, it's what this deal sounds like. It sounds more like that Bethesda and ZeniMax Online is on the same level as Xbox under Phil Spencer, opposed to ZeniMax being absorbed into Xbox, at least immediately. And I wouldn't surprise me for two reasons. Number one, Matt Booty talked about when Microsoft does these acquisition deals, they have these get out clauses or these special clauses that get people on board. And I can see ZeniMax saying, you know what? Before we're absorbed, we want to have 2 years of complete, you know what I'm saying, independence, to still run independent, 2 or 3 years. That wouldn't shock me. Secondly, let me show you guys something here. Let me share the screen right here, because I see a narrative that's being ran with a lot. And I want to talk about this tweet. Okay, so I said in this tweet, people are using Phil Spencer's comments to Bloomberg about case-by-case basis as a means to suggest future Bethesda games will definitely be exclusive. In my opinion, that's a serious caveat of the entire interview. Satya Nadella, the head MF in charge, says this, more supporting a multi-plat approach. Nadella said Microsoft may consider releasing games on other platforms in the future. When we think about strategy, whether it's in gaming or any other part of Microsoft, each layer, now pay attention to this, whether it's in gaming or any other part of Microsoft, each layer has to stand on its own for what it brings. When we talk about our content, we want our content to be broadly available. I want to say something to my friends that are not familiar with Microsoft under this new regime. Under this new regime, Satya is the THMFIC, the head MFer in charge. He's the one that formulated the idea of Game Pass. He is the one that actually brought you Minecraft, read his book. And he is the one that seriously influenced pretty much everything that you've seen as far as structure is concerned at Microsoft. If you don't believe me, listen to paulthurrott.com. I've been studying this man since 2017. When it was the whole Terry Myerson destroyed the whole world thing. I've been studying Satya. I have multiple videos on this, read the books, everything. And if you need to be caught up, if you don't want to spend as much investment as I did, go to paulthurrott.com. The man is the foremost expert on all things Microsoft. This was Microsoft pretty much pulling them in. A relationship was originally established with Xbox, but Microsoft was pulling in ZeniMax, not just Bethesda, but ZeniMax, the people that also have exclusive rights to VR tech that they just won in court over that battle with Facebook and Oculus. Microsoft did this, just like how Microsoft did Minecraft, not Xbox, Microsoft. Now, I'm not taking away what this means for Xbox. This changes everything for Xbox. But again, don't look at this small-minded. This is bigger than just Xbox. This is a Microsoft acquisition, and it very, very well may be that ZeniMax is going to run independently for a few years, for a while, or forever, and they're going to partner with Xbox as far as Game Pass, exclusive content, all that stuff may be. So it's not, if Satya Nadella is crunching the numbers and he says, look, we're going to keep the big names, Elder Scrolls and you know what I'm saying, in Skyrim or whatever the case may be. We're gonna keep the multi-plat, but yeah, they're gonna create their own exclusive content for Xbox here. And oh, definitely, yeah. I wouldn't put that past Satya. The man has grown the Microsoft stock portfolio over 170% only 3 years after being in position. That's unheard of. But a lot of y'all don't was like, whoa, like the meme, the little kids waving his hand, going back and forth. Whoa, y'all don't understand that because y'all don't look at this from 5,000 feet. Y'all got to study the man Satya Nadella. Don't be small-minded about this. Study Satya Nadella to get a better understanding of what's going on here. Satya Nadella, again, is the THMIFIC, the head MFer in charge when it comes down to this. Kudos to him and Phil for making this happen. But Saatchi's all about that cash. She's all about that revenue. Again, Microsoft made $16 billion. They made $10 billion in a year where Sony did its best output and made $16 billion. And they made $10 billion off of what was generally considered trash. Saatchi's about that cash. All right? So we got to understand what we're dealing with here, but I'm glad. Thank you for bringing that up. All right. So let me do this. Let me go back to the chat. Roger says Microsoft is going to bring new Bethesda games to PC. No, Roger. I know you're stuck on that, my good friend, but that's not happening. There's more enough proof against that. Now, will that happen eventually? I don't know. The homie Zero Games for me says, I'm just happy it wasn't Sony that popped up. That would have been really bad. I don't know. I mean, I think ultimately it is better. If this is an independent deal as it appears, it is better that they're under Microsoft because they got a lot more flexibility. And let's be honest, ZeniMax just didn't like Sony. They didn't like them. They didn't get along with them. Let's see. Who else we got here? We got the homie Chase. He says, hold on, let me move this. He said, I slightly disagree, my good friend, only on the piece above that I wrote because folks may run into extreme with masks. Got to be real careful, in my opinion. Now, look, here's the thing. As this platform grows, Chase, you're going to get it. There's nothing that you and I can do about that. I don't care how positive it gets. If those people want to be in a silo, let them be in a silo. I tried what you're mentioning right now, Chase, for years. I'm telling you, I'm letting y'all know from experience. Learn from my mistakes. I tried for years. Please listen to me. I got something I'm telling you. I know I've done my research. Please don't block me. Don't follow my channel. They didn't want to eat the food. While I'm wasting my time with people that don't want to eat the food, there's people that are needy of it that are starving. Don't waste your time on them. If your message is solely good for the soul, then let them be in a reprobate state of mind and you got to come back to them later. But it's going to happen anyway. We don't have control over that, Chase. We don't. We just don't. If your message is catered and centered around facts, then let them do their blocking. They're going to do it regardless. That's part of their character. This is what y'all don't understand. So y'all think people come to social media and then they just develop their character right then and there. No, these people are who they are before they even hit the first string on their keyboard. If they're that sensitive where they're just blocking anything that doesn't agree with them, that's what they're going to do. They're going to do it regardless. There's nothing you can do about to change someone's character. There's nothing I can do about it. I had to learn that the hard way. And while I was sitting there wasting my time with people, I'm like, yo, if you just listen, come on, man. I'm wasting my time with them. There's a dozen other people that want what I'm selling. And they just walked off. They said, oh, this fool, he messing around. We want to hear the message. And they walked off and they came back to me years later. Oh man, yeah, I remember you, man. You was spitting this and that, but you was too focused on that, and the other. I messed up. Y'all, I'm telling y'all wasting y'all time worrying about people that don't want to listen to y'all or listen to me. Listen to any of us. Who cares? Who cares? Let them go. Sammy on Stadia. People have reacted to other companies making announcements and decided to panic. At this point, any announcement will send people in a frenzy. We all need to calm down. Growing up, there used to be a magazine called The Source for those that are hip hop fanatics. I used to be a hip hop fanatic. I can't do this new music now, but that's here nor there. I ain't gonna shake my old fist at the window. And there used to be a segment in there called the Hip Hop Quotable. That right there to me is the Hip Hop Quotable. People have reacted to other companies making announcements and decided to panic. At this point, any announcement will send people into a frenzy. We all need to calm down. And some people may say, you know what? I just don't want this in my timeline. I wholeheartedly agree. I wholeheartely disagree with these set of notions. I don't feel like hearing it right now. I don't want to engage with it. And they're going to do that regardless. Let them do it. Serve the food to those that want it. There's nothing wrong with it. If you don't want to listen to me, I don't care. I don't care. I just don't care. Here goes my homie Cold Blood Sister. He says, who the blank is Donnie? And why are you out? Hey, man, shut up, Cold Blood. Shut your ass up. Avery says 100% MM2K. There's nothing more quintessentially American than people going on Twitter complaining that people are trying to silence them on a platform where they can broadcast. Look. Stadia Talk says we got to keep 100. Many folks say block out everyone who we don't want to hear the silenced voices. Just need to be careful. I agree that folks have right to mute block. Now, to both what Avery and Stadia Talk have just said, I'll say this again. I get where Chase is coming from. I caution people from being siloed, but again, if you have a siloed approach on YouTube, you likely got a siloed approach at the office, talking to your loved ones, dealing with your kids in a restaurant. There is nothing I can do on the other end of that keyboard to change your character. It just is what it is. And to follow that up with it is that serve the food to those that are hungry. That's what I had to learn to do. I lost so many people over my span of doing YouTube. Look, this channel right here, over 800. Again, I thank y'all so much. I've been blessed to have you guys want to even listen to me doing this. We got 39 people in there right now. Thank you. But for the other 300 possible people that could be that don't give a damn, God bless you too. With that being said, I wasted so much time back in my other day that now this channel done caught up to my original channel. This channel done damn well caught up to my other channel. I started that other channel 3 years ago. This channel I started, 11 months ago. It done caught up with it. Why? Because this time around I learned to feed the food to those that are hungry. If you're not hungry, I'm not wasting my time with you. And if people want to block, let them block. It's as simple as that. So thank you guys both for those comments. The homie Generation Stadia says, agreed. No one in this community is owed anything other than the freedom to speak their mind. If people choose to block others, it's fine. No need to beat yourself up about something someone else feels. My God, we got 2 hip-hop quotables. We got 2 hip-hop quotables. Now, let me give you a prime example. The homie Generation Stadia, which I love him. God bless this fine gentleman. And I'm not trying to come on to you, Generation. I'm just saying, God bless you, man. Because if it wasn't for Generation Stadia, there would be no MM2K. Generation Stadia is what even gave me the idea to run a Stadia-only channel. And then thank you to Snow Bunny, part of the PNTS network, who said, Marsh, you better go do that damn thing. If it wasn't for the combination, those 2, I wouldn't even be here right now, spitting into my pop filter, about to go live with Chase in about 13 minutes. So I'm about to get out of here. But I want to close with this. Generation Stadia put out a series of comments last week that I necessarily didn't agree with. But we had fine discourse. Now, he didn't have fine discourse with some people who just wanted him to shut up. Why did they want him to shut up? Because let's be honest, because he got Generation Stadia in his name, and they didn't want nobody from the outside seeing it and saying, oh, even the Stadia people are hating on it, and da-da-da-da-da. They didn't want that used for ammo. That's silly. The man should be able to come on social media, say what he got to say, because he got to say so many prolific things, and his opinion matters whether I agree with it or not. But at the same time, while I kept going back and forth with Generation Stadia, if Generation Stadia said, you know what, MM2K, I don't feel like going back and forth with you over my opinion. And I kept going back and forth with him, and he was respectful enough to do it, but he ain't have to. That was not needed from Generation Stadia. He could have said, you know what, this guy will go on and on and on and on like the Energizer Butter. Mute. And I would have been okay. Whatever. I got to be self-aware. I know how I can get. I know how I can get. But that's his God-given right. And he hit it right on the nail. Agreed. No one in this community is owed anything other than the freedom to speak their mind. If people choose to block others, it's fine. No need to beat yourself up and something someone else feels. So basically, I'm not saying don't warn against being siloed. I still warned against being siloed. But what I'm saying is watch these tirades, stop demagoguing the community. If people are going to mute and block, they'll mute and block. To me, I'd rather know who don't want to hear from me so I know not to waste my time with you. Because I do feel, because I have that much confidence in the information I have been given, that I do feel that it's important for me to share it. So if you block me, I realize I don't need to go back and forth with you because you've already made up your mind. And we can't have reasonable discourse. So that makes my job easier. I can bring my plate of food to the next person that's actually hungry. And that's how we should look at this, folks. MM2K, where is the food, brother? It's about, yeah, you're about to get some of that food. 10 minutes. Go over to, let me see if I can get the link for you guys. Oh, here it goes right here, baby. Let me copy it right now. I am going live with Chase in less than 10 minutes. MM2K live with Chase. We're going to talk about this, baby, at 3 p.m. EDT. Come on over. Come on over. You don't want to miss it. Go over there right now and set your alarms, all that stuff. This is going to be a fiery discussion. Why? Not because me and Chase, disagree, but I haven't had a chance to talk to him behind the scenes about all this yet. I don't think we disagree. I think we're maybe in totality in full agreement about this, but it's going to be fiery because this does have huge impact. This has huge impact. And I'm excited. You can see I'm already psyched up about it. I'm not mad. People are like, oh, you were hating on Xbox. You were mad. No, this is what I said Xbox needed to do, and they did it. I'm happy. I'm happy. So if you want to see more of my happiness, come on over. Bada boom to that link right there. Me and Chase, we're going to be going live. Go over there right now. I'm ending this. We're done. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. It just had to be said. We got to stop the demagoguing, and we got to feed those that are hungry, okay? I know I sound like a Celine Dion commercial by saying that, but it's the truth. I promise y'all. But I said y'all have a wonderful gaming day. Stay tuned for me and Chase in a few moments. Peace.